Welcome. This is Rich with Unlimited Cards. If you have arrived here, you're well off the beaten path. I'm a nobody. Got my display up for all you guys. Literally like the 1 or 2 people that watch me. We have 2013 Commander. Man, what a long time ago. Look at this beauty. Unopened. I placed the stop tape on it myself. Beautiful. And then I got Lorwyn Commander decks. This is what sparked the video because this is the latest, hottest thing right now. These are all just like trash that I pulled out for the video. So there you go. I wanted to make a quick video on Commander decks. And we have Lorwyn going on right now. I put up the cards for Lorwyn. I've literally sold like half of them in a day here. TCG player is absolutely insane sometimes, especially when there's hype around there. But I wanted to talk about these Commander decks. First of all, though, I'm going to start off with me realizing the opportunity in Commander decks. Now, this is more of like a business side of things if you're a seller of like single cards. I guess investors might find some information here because these seem to perform really well lately. Everybody's into this kind of stuff. I think I might know what's kind of going on behind that. We'll dive into it. So my journey started with the absolutely beautiful Commander Baldur's Gate. What an abysmal time. I mean, that product came out where they moved Mana Drain into the next set with Double Masters 2022. They charged so much for the set, and the singles tanked. People were pissed at that. That was like the beginning of just the crash and burn of the IP of Magic, which we're seeing the lawsuits coming out nowadays. Something interesting I know, I'll make a video on that later. But when that came out, me as like a ridiculously small nobody store and other stores realized that we have to open these to put them out on the market, right? And I just had like a few Commander decks. I literally buy a very small amount. And then if I see an opportunity, I will move forward into it. And at the time they had Dawn Glare. Dawn Glare hasn't really been doing much lately. I have no idea what's behind that. It seemed to stop doing its thing after the crash and burn in 2022 and 2023 with Magic. So maybe that's tied to it. I mean, if you guys know what's going on with Dawn Glare, they seem to not be doing their thing anymore, and I'm too stupid to know what's going on. But they're not like putting up new stuff. I don't know. Maybe my internet's messed up out here, way out in the middle of nowhere. They list like the value of all these different like sets and Commander sets at the time they were. And there were, I think it's a 4-deck set. What did they have? They had like that Party Time one. They had the one with the dragon, Furkarg or whatever. There was some other one, Nalia or whatever. Maybe that was the Party Time one. I don't remember. The one that I'm specifically talking about in Commander Baldur's Gate, though, is the Exit from Exile decks. Now, for most stores, I think if you just have a ton of them, you're just going to open them all. For me, as a smaller person, someone that can pivot and move quicker, I targeted that deck. Now, I had all the other ones, so I could have variety out in my store, but I targeted that specific one. And the reason for that was because I was noticing that they were writing down that it had an expected value of like $95. And literally the decks, I was going in, I was bidding on them, I was sniping them and just buying them like that. And I got them anywhere between $25 and $35. I think I bought a couple of them a little bit over $35. I didn't go over $40. And my reasoning behind that was, yes, I understand you're telling me that there's $95 of expected value, but also we're talking about like, you have all this shipment fees, you have people who steal things that get misdelivered or lost, and then you're gonna see a fall in price, right? I noticed that what I'm noticing, other people are probably noticing, and so everybody's gonna be buying these decks and just like throwing them up online. Why would you not miss out on that opportunity? So I gave myself a buffer down to, I would say, like $65 of value. I even said, even if it falls down to, I only get $55 of value out of these decks. I mean, that's still really good, return if you buy them for like at most like $35, right? I mean, these decks had like, it has like Jessica's Will in it. There's this card, Delayed Blast Fireball, that spiked while I was selling them. You have like 3 visits in there. It's just like, these commander decks have so much value in them. And I was looking at this one deck and I was like, man, and I went in. So I opened, I think it was about like 100 of them, which is probably nothing compared to the bigger stores out there, but it was big for me. It was funny. I had all this trash and I was living in a very small place, and my girlfriend at the time thought I was insane, but the opportunity was so many, and they had the little packs too, so you could get the special little cards as well. Those little 2-3 card packs, whatever they were. And at the time, what were the couple of the cards? They had the dragons in the set. I mean, they had like Displacer Kitten, which everybody was going, freaking out over, as like a $20 card. So you could get those cards in this little tiny pack. Plus, you have like dice, you have the decks. It was a beautiful product. I mean, what I like about these, look at the packaging on, it's so much better. Thank you, Wizards. Holy cow. It used to be so bulky. Is this what all commander decks are like nowadays? I don't know. I don't open them all. I just noticed that there's a lot of value in this one. But at the time, I made a killing on selling that particular deck. I sold other ones, but that particular one made so much. And so when I look at this, the big things about commander decks are, it's so simple to list them. Like when you open a booster box, you have no idea what you're going to get in there, and you're going to get a bunch of stuff. So as a seller, when you're listing, and I understand, now that I'm on TCG Player, it's a lot faster. So, it makes it easier to, back then I was doing eBay. So it's a lot harder. You got to put the picture up. You got to put, different descriptions, things like that. It takes longer, right? But it was just such a beautiful process to open up something with 100 cards that you know exactly what's in there, and just list them. And when they sell out, because I only put certain amounts on eBay, on TCG Player, I just put a bunch up there because sometimes people will just buy like 40 of your card, whatever stupid card. And I'm like, sure, you guys are going to have them. But on eBay, I put up buffers in case something spikes in value. And you just relist the same thing. So it makes it really easy. So the ease of listing it, the value, and the fact that there's desirable cards from like Magic's history in these decks makes this really attractive. I don't know all that's in 2013 Commander. I literally have this up here for eye candy. Okay, Lorwyn Eclipsed. This is what came out recently. And I'm going to point to the fact that there is insane value into these decks. Now, the caveat is that it's brand new. So the race down to the bottom is happening, right? Like literally some of these cards you put up, they're like 30 cents, right? But like the older versions are like $2-3. And this is where the market calibrates, where those more expensive cards are going to start coming down, and then these cards are going to start drifting up, right? So do I recommend people just going ham and buying these and selling them immediately right now? I would say no. That's a lot of work for a smaller return. Once again, not financial advice. You're literally listening to someone who doesn't know how to shave and has the stupidest hair in the world. So when you look at these, it's not about the value that's happening right now. It's about the value that's going to happen in the future, right? And so if you have the time and the resources to kind of hold on to this and to be able to, possibly sell in the future, whether it's the actual decks or whether it's singles, you're probably going to do pretty well. It requires patience, though, at this moment. If you're looking to just buy and resell these right at the moment, you're racing at the bottom. That's exactly what I'm doing, right? I'm not making a huge return on these. The reason for bringing up this video and why I'm so excited about this is because there's going to be a lot of future value with these sets, with these commander sets. There's 2 decks in this thing, so it's easy. You really don't have to pick out of 4 or 5 or whatever. I put up these cards immediately because the hype gets people into my store and they see the other items. I have thousands of listings there. So they see other items, and I'm noticing some of these orders that I'm shipping out here, people are buying other things. And that's a great thing. I'm getting rid of dead inventory or whatever, professional term you want to say. These decks are amazing. Specifically, this Dance of Elements deck, you got Fury, Endurance. These are big, cards. These are big cards. These are professional, Pro Tour, I got a special deck cards, okay? And what's really interesting, too, is they have different artwork. And this is something I mentioned in my Flesh and Blood video on Compendium the Wraith, is when you have different artwork, yes, it can cause a fall in price, but in turn, in the long run, people are going to notice these different artworks and want different artworks. Now, if you overdo it, Project Booster Fun, and destroy the whole market with all these variances, you're screwed in the end. But adding in a different artwork, I don't think is the worst, as long as you don't overdo it, you know what I'm saying? Hands down, last hot take of this video. How far are we in it? We're 13 minutes in. I gotta shut this off. My videos are way too long. Commander decks are king. This one's super interesting. There is a lot of value in here. And here's my hype train going, coming to pick you up. Okay? So whether you're an investor, whether you're someone who sells singles, this is something to look at. My empty trash boxes. I love listing commander decks. I don't think there's opportunity in every single one of them, but I love listing them because of the ease of listing them. You just have to relist the same thing, and there's a lot of value that keeps going up. Now, frankly, a big reason why I think these go up, yes, it's the cards, the specialness, you have great value in these things, but simply put, I think a lot more people understand and know what I'm saying right now, and so they rip these open to throw the singles out in the market. So last hot take for all the investors out there that like to hold on to commander decks, yes, you will get reprints, you will get more influx into the system, you'll have to deal with that for a while. But in the long run, with the ease of selling these things, and now look at these nice boxes and how you can store them, it's just so much easier than the older commander decks. This is a great play for investors, not financial advice. People rip these open. And I think that's what's contributing to the great returns that we're getting with commander decks. It's kind of like collector deck or collector boxes. A long time ago, I realized that a lot of people like to open them because of the value. There's really kind of a finite supply. I don't know for sure. I'm too dumb. And they're just small. So you can store more of them in an area. Like, for example, with Pokemon right now, a lot of people are talking about the bundles. And a big reason for that is because you can store so many in a smaller area versus having like an ETB, which I'm, buying ETBs because I'm an idiot.